Hi all, my name is Jonathan Lamb. I'll be the professor for this pre-calculus class, Math 1730 for the summer of 2021. You'll hopefully be watching this video on our first day of class, which should be June 1st. I'm making this video for you here on Memorial Day to try to help make sure you know exactly what's going to be expected of you this summer. I think you'll find that this is an extremely straightforward class. I don't do any projects or any group work or anything like that. It's all going to be on you doing the online homework and then your performance on my tests that I'll have throughout the semester. I try to make sure that you are extremely well prepared for everything that I ask you to do in this class. And please know, at any time, if you need my help with this class, I will be here to help you out in any capacity that you need. Uh, let's go ahead and look at our class Brightspace page. I'll go ahead and share my screen of that with you here. It's going to look like this. Now, you'll notice as we go in, after you'll see my introductory video that hopefully you're watching right now, linked right here. And just as a way of introducing myself again here, I certainly am glad that you're taking this class with me here this summer. I am Jonathan Lamb. Will be the professor for this class. I don't typically teach pre-calculus too often anymore. Last time I taught it was fall of last year, and I'm not sure when I taught it before that. But I'm actually the lead professor of the calculus series at Pellissippi. I absolutely love teaching math. I look forward to working with you to make sure that you can get prepared to take the calculus series. One of my main goals, and it should be the main goal of pre-calculus in general, is to make sure that you have all of the skills required that are going to make you extremely competent and confident to do the calculus series. Now, with that said, and here in my next little excerpt, I say many students have a more difficult time in pre-calculus than calculus. And that seems to baffle a lot of students. They're like, well, I thought as math went on, it got harder and harder. It's all kind of depends upon the person and what they can get used to more quickly. A lot of students struggle with pre-calculus, certainly more than the calculus series. Calculus 1 in particular is not that challenging of a class. Calculus 2, though, much more fun. But this class is certainly felt to be more difficult than I would say at least Calculus 1 by a lot of students. Now, one of the reasons that students struggle with this class more than the calculus series is that it moves quickly. The reason it moves quickly is because it should be going over a lot of skills that you already have done before. The purpose of this class is to more improve your skills and expand upon your skills rather than introduce a bunch of new concepts. There shouldn't be a whole lot of new concepts in this class. It should just be things that you've at least looked at and done before, maybe not as in depth as we are going to do in this class. Like a lot of students have done things like factoring, synthetic division, and stuff like that before, but they probably haven't applied those topics and techniques or done those topics and techniques as in depth as we will in this class. That's why I say right here, beware that while you've likely seen quite a bit of what we're going to do in this class before, we'll probably go into more difficult cases of each of those topics. So we'll need to deepen our knowledge base of algebra and trigonometry topics and throughout this semester to be successful and to prepare you for the calculus sequence, which is the main goal of this class. Now, this class is our most dropped and failed math class at Pellissippi, which seems odd with it just being a pre-calculus class and not a calculus series class. Uh, that's because a lot of the students who take this class may not have the rigor and preparation in prior math classes as a lot of our calculus students do. By the time students get to calculus, they've either survived this class or done well in other math classes to make sure that their calculus skills and their calculus classes are go pretty well. So as far as success rates for this class, the success rate of pre-calculus is quite a bit lower than our success rates of any of the calculus series classes. But now, I only say that to make sure you take this class seriously. This is not a class that you should just take flippantly and say, I'll do that when I get a chance to. I'll start preparing for the test 2 days before the test. That's not a successful strategy for the vast majority of students who take this class. Please make sure that you work hard and do this class at least, if not on a daily basis, on an every other day, to where you're not skipping several days and trying to get caught up. That's not going to be an effective learning strategy. Now, if you're not a math fan, I hope to turn you into one. One of the things that I hope you get from the interaction with me throughout this course is that I feel absolutely blessed to be doing the job that I'm doing. I do not take lightly that I love what I do. I love math and I love helping people. So please don't ever feel that you're inconveniencing me by sending me questions via whether it's text message, which we'll get into all of the contacts forms, how you can easily reach me here later. But whether you're sending me a text message on the phone, whether you're sending me an email, any other form of contact, whether it's through D2L, Brightspace, or whether it's even coming and seeing me in person on my help session days, please don't ever feel that you're inconveniencing me. It is my honor to help you out through this class. I love doing what I do. I love the math. I love helping people. Now, one way that you will be able to maximize your fun while also maximizing the mastery of your useful techniques in this class is through that interaction. There may be some things that you haven't thought of that I can give you a different perspective on. But now, on the other hand, this is an asynchronous class. So if you're doing absolutely fine with the content of this class, please don't feel like it's a necessity to come in and ask questions and stuff like that. I will be a resource for you as much and when needed, but I don't want you to feel obligated to ask questions if you're doing fine on your own. I want you to use this class how you need it to be done. Now, probably most important thing in this entire introduction video is to make sure you get into our online course management system. Now, that's separate from our Pellissippi page that we have here. This is our Brightspace learning environment where I'll be posting all of my content, all of our class grades, anything like that. But where you will be showing me the work that you're doing is all located on the My Lab Math page. The instructions for registering for that are my second announcement here. You'll see to register for PreCalculus Math 1730 online homework management system. All you have to do is go to the pearson.com MyLab link, and I'll go ahead and do that here. Actually, I'm going to go back just a second because I would rather open that up in another window or in another tab. So I'll hit another tab, go to that. Now, you'll see the instructions for how you will register as a student. You'll click the student, and then after that, you'll click OK, register. You'll need my course ID. That's the LAM 94900. Then after that, you click continue. Once you are into the system, and you might have to register with your username and password, I would prefer you use your Pellissippi email address whenever you register. But if you know you're not going to check your Pellissippi email, you can use external email accounts. But however you choose to register, that's on you. I prefer you use your Pellissippi email, but however you do that. Once you do register and you get your account valid within My Math Lab, you're going to need to use this access code right here. I would strongly recommending just copying it and pasting it in there just like that, and it should be no problem whatsoever. And in fact, let me go ahead and well, I can't do that because I'm already signed in. Let me show you. I already have an account, so it won't take me through those steps. Ooh, you like my username there, Math Tennis Prof? My math professor who loves to play tennis too, so Math Tennis Prof. But I'll go ahead and register in, or sign in, I should say. Once you do that, now you'll just have the one course most likely. I have a bunch of different courses. I go into our course, and your course homepage will look very similar to mine. You'll see the e-text right here. If you want to go in and check anything with the book, you can do so right there. But the main part of what I'll be grading, well, the only part of what I'll be grading with the online content is located under the homework tab. Now, you'll have fewer links over here on the left. Anything that you see the little like person with a slash through it, you won't see on your account. But you will see the homework, and when you go into the homework, it's going to look precisely like this. Section by section, everything we cover will have a corresponding assignment online. Now, some things that I'll mention about this online assignment. Please notice that the due dates for every single assignment, I'm trying to give you up until the literal last moment. I have to report grades for this class on July 27th. So I've set July 26th at 11:59 p.m. to be the deadline for every single assignment. Now, that certainly doesn't mean that you should wait until then. I have a recommended pacing chart that we'll go over here in a moment to make sure that you're on track. But let's say that you don't get a great grade on an assignment and you know you want to go back and earn a higher average. You can keep on working on every single assignment until the very end. And the way that I have these set up is you can work every problem within each assignment as many times as you want. So whenever you go into an assignment, it's just going to list the problems out like this. You don't even have to start with question one, although I would, but you can start with any question you want, go in here and hopefully work the question correctly and proceed on to the next question. So this one you can see is a very simplistic algebraic expression to start off. So it should be, a really easy start as you get into some of these problems. Now, if you need any help as you go in through there, please notice there's question help. They have view an example. It'll take you directly to the textbook where it talks about things like this. You can hit the Ask My Instructor, but I would try using the other things first, because if everybody asks me questions, I won't be able to get back towards you as quickly as the online help, but I will be glad to help. For the help me solve it, it's going to kind of lead you through a similar problem and try to ask you leading questions, which I think is kind of cool. So you might try that as a technique. Now, other things that you want, if you just want to view an example, just say, hey, just work it out for me. They will show you a similar problem and they'll go through it step by step with explanations. So they talk about first use the distributive property, then use the associative property, then they're combining like terms, and they get to the final answer. And then they say question is complete. But now you're not going to be able to get your question correct until you go in and, of course, answer it. So you'll see it still has an X mark beside my question because I have not done it yet. Once I do, it'll be marked correct. Now, let's say you get it wrong. Can you move on to the next question? You sure can. And you can move back to the question that you get wrong at any point. I'll go ahead and leave this, and notice it's marking my question 1 wrong. If I wanted to go back into it and work it correctly, I could do so at any point. In fact, let me just go ahead and do it here. We know 5 times 2x is going to be 10x, so it's going to be 10x. And then we know it's going to be 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 7 is 8, so it's going to be 10x plus 8. No problem. We'll check that answer, and it says, nice work, and next question. Now you'll see that that question is marked correctly. I can go ahead and proceed with the assignment, or I can X out and go back into it later, whatever your preference is. Now, going back to our page, and please let me know as soon as possible if you have any trouble registering for this page. That needs to be taken care of the absolute first week. So let me know if there's any problems with registration, and I'll be sure to either help you out or put you in contact with our publisher representative that can give you more technical support with their site than I can. But it is worth noting, do not opt out of the included fees that were accompanying this course. It should have charged you $100, and that gives you access to the online e-textbook and the homework management system. All of that's the homework management system that's on there. That's going to be worth 50% of our class grade for this class. So keep in mind, that's 50% of your grade for this class. That's just going to be problems that you have the ability to ask me for help with. You have examples online. They'll show you how to work it out step by step, and then you can go on, create a similar problem and do it. So I really think it's just a matter of if you're willing to put in the time it takes to get the credit you want out of it, for at least for that 50%. Now let's go ahead and look at the other things on here. As far as links up here that I'll be using, the main page with the announcements, that's your primary entry page. I'll be using that, of course, and I'll be using the content tab and the grades tab. I won't really use the discussions. I will not be posting quizzes within Brightspace or assignments within Brightspace. So it's just going to be the main page, the content page, and then you'll see your grades page. For the grades, let's go ahead and click on that. You'll see that you're going to have 4 tests and a final exam. Your My Math Lab overall homework average, I won't pull that over into Brightspace until the very end of the semester. On My Math Lab, you should be able to see at any point what your current average is on there if you want. On July 27th, that morning, I'll pull your My Math Lab average over into Brightspace, and that'll be worth 50% of your grade. Now under content, you'll see the pages that I've put thus far. I have, if you need some contact information of people at Pellissippi that you might need for any resources and stuff, I have that linked here. So bookstore, testing center, probably some of the most important contacts there. When I go back to my beginning of semester information, I went ahead and posted the My Lab math registration. That's the same thing as the announcement that you see on the front page, but that's also posted here just in case you missed it on, or just in case you missed it on the front page. But that's the exact same thing as the announcement I have posted. Now, more importantly, well, probably not more importantly, that My Math Lab registration is extremely important, but let me talk about our class policies here. So as I've already said a few times, my name is Jonathan Lamb. I'm the lead calculus professor at Pellissippi. Now, as far as contacting me, you'll be able to reach me through email. I prefer you use the webmail email as opposed to the email within Brightspace. The email within Brightspace, it's not a very good system whatsoever. I can't attach any pictures or anything to the email, so it's hard for me to answer questions very effectively using their archaic email system within Brightspace. I'd much rather you just email me at jwlam@pstcc.edu, or certainly feel free to send me a text question and I can easily answer that very quickly as well. Sometimes students are a little hesitant to text professors. It's not an issue with me at all. It's a convenient form of communication. I would ask that the first time that you text me, please let me know who you are. Uh, I used to always get emails back during when I taught several classes over a semester. I would get a random text message, "Are we having a test tomorrow?" So I would just reply back, "Yes." So that student would be prepared. I'm kind of kidding on that. I wouldn't be mean, but I would ask, "Who are you and what class are you in?" If they've never, texted me before. I can't just know exactly who they are and what class they're in. Now, as far as other things that we'll be doing this semester, and when I say we will be doing, uh, I want to reiterate this class is asynchronous. You can meet me as often online or in person as you want, or as little. It's very possible that some students in this class I may never meet this summer, and that's perfectly okay if that's how you want this class to be run. However, I want to make myself as available to you as I can. My summer Zoom session times are going to be at 10 a.m. And that's going to be Monday through Thursday. So I'll also plan to be in-person help with you on Fridays at 10 a.m. So Monday through Thursday, you can reach me online through my Zoom link here. It's Zoom /my/math is cool, because math is cool. You can remember that easily. It's probably easier just to click it rather than to memorize it anyway, though. But that'll take you right to my Zoom room where we can work with one another and I can help you out as much as you need. That's Monday through Thursday. Friday, the time is at 10 a.m. and we will be in the McWhirter building, room 221. McWhirter 221 is a computer lab. So you don't even have to bring your computer, and we can still look at your MyLab assignments in there, help you out with whatever questions you have. I'll be glad to help as many people on Fridays at 10. Actually, I look forward to helping people in person. I'm kind of growing a little tired of Zoom chats and stuff. But if you do want to meet me on Zoom Monday through Thursday, I'll be glad to do that too. And I'll be thrilled to help you out on there. It's just I look forward to going back to in-person help because this distance learning, it's not really my forte. I like dealing with people in person. As far as course materials, you really have everything that you need as long as you don't opt out. It's just the MyLab math. But if you did want a physical copy of the text, it's the PreCalculus 6th edition by Robert Blitzer. It is optional. You can get by without it. Myself, I prefer to have a physical copy of the text, so that's why I mention it here. It is loose leaf in the bookstore for an additional $50. The included fee that you've already been charged is $100, and that was your registration where you can get the e-text and the online homework management system. And you cannot opt out of that 100 just because you buy the $50 book, because then it wouldn't give you access to be able to do the homework online. So please make sure you understand that's a required fee. And then if you want the physical copy of the book, you can get it for $50. I'm sure you could also find it on Amazon and stuff. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be the 6th edition. Is it the end of the world if you get one of Blitzer's older editions of PreCalculus? Not at all. There's very little difference from one of his books to the other. As far as calculators, I would prefer that you have a TI-83, or actually there's not many TI-83s still around anymore. Those are pretty old. Most people have the TI-84. That's certainly preferred. Those two calculators, doesn't matter. Even if you have the old 83, it does everything the 84 does. Those are the preferred calculators. There's many other calculators that are fine. It's just that if you want to follow along with what I'm doing, whenever I do use a calculator, I'll be using a TI-84. Now, calculators that are banned are any calculator that has what's called a computer algebra system. It has a symbolic manipulation. So if it can say x plus x is 2x, we don't allow that. Because especially in calculus classes later on, it'll be able to take derivatives and integrals for you. And we want to make sure that you can do that, not that your calculator can do that. So we limit your calculators to a TI-84 or something comparable. The Casio FXG series, I believe, is also fine. I'm just not as familiar as those. So if you bring it in to have me help you with it, it might take me a minute or two. But the 84s, I'll know exactly what you need. Now, as far as resources with this class, I hope I am your first point of contact. Lots of times students will say, well, I watched some videos online. I went to Khan Academy, and Khan Academy is fantastic, by the way. But there should be no other first point of reference other than me. No one is going to know what I want you to know in this class more than I do. And no one's going to be as willing to help you and want you to succeed more than I do either. So please use me as your first point of reference. Now, there are many other resources available to you. We have a virtual tutoring center at Pellissippi this summer. You can go to the tutor schedule using this link, and it'll show you tutor schedules for summer 2021. And if you go down to math, a lot of these math tutors are my former students anyway. So all you got to do is tell them, hey, I'm a student in Professor Lamb's class, and they'll be saying, oh, yes, I remember him. Some of the ones that's had me recently, specifically, Kaylin, she's wonderful. She'd be a great help. LaSalle, sweet, sweet lady. She's would be a great help with this class. Those two have had me very recently. Angela Warren, if you see anywhere where it says Angela up here, she's another one of our math professors. So she would be a wonderful resource for this summer. The other ones I do know and would be fine, but I did not have them as students. So with Saul and Kaylin would be wonderful resources that both had me for this class. So they would be probably the best of the students. And then of course, Angela Warren, she's a fellow professor, so she would be much of a very good resource for this class as well. Now, like I said before, there's an abundance of great websites. Any topic that we do this semester, you'd be able to Google it, and you're going to have tons of results. Some of those results will be very good, some not so much. I always mention Khan Academy just because I know it's an extremely good resource. Now, with that resource, remember, the reason that is a fantastic resource is because, and it's free, but it's better than a lot of paid content because Bill and Melinda Gates have just poured tons of money into Khan Academy to make sure it is a resource that it is as good as many private resources. Now, I think hopefully you'll see that I have more personality in my videos. Sal Khan is pretty monotonous and kind of uniform in speech pattern as he's trying to explain how to work a problem. He'll have a very monotone voice like this. I love math way too much to be able to do that. So I get a little bit more excited as I work the problems than he does. Although I can respect someone wanting to present the problems in a very scholarly format too. So it's just a difference in approach. I can't hide my love of math as I do math. Now, as far as classroom policy and procedures, kind of silly to have an attendance policy, but I just wanted to mention it here just to reiterate, this class is asynchronous. As long as you have the MyLab assignments for the sections due before the test dates, you'll be fine. And remember, You can always go back and fix the grades on any of those all the way up until the July 26th at midnight when the deadline is. You do not have to attend any of my Zoom sessions or my in-person Friday help sessions held in Recorder 221. I will not present content during any of those sessions. It's just going to be question and answer. So whether it's with coming online or coming in person, you need to be prepared to ask me questions, because otherwise we'll just be sitting there staring at one another, and that would be a little awkward. So please do come with questions, and I'll be glad to help you out however I can. Now, as far as the homework, you see all of it was posted MyLab 1.1 through 6.7. That'll count for 50% of your final grade in this class. Allow unlimited attempts. You can work every single section, every single problem of every single section, an unlimited number of times until the deadline on July 26th at midnight. We will have 5 tests, including a comprehensive final exam. Now, each of the 4 tests throughout the semester, I break up the content into 4 critical regions. The first 2 primarily being your algebra skills, and the second 2 being primarily your trigonometry skills. Now, with those, each one of those 4 grades will be worth 12.5% of your class average. Now, 4 times 12.5, that's also 50%. So if you're happy with your average at the end of those 4 tests, you're done. The final exam, that 5th test, is taken only if you're unhappy with an earlier test grade that might be lowering your average. So like I say here, if you're happy with your class average before the final exam, there's no need to take it. If you're not happy with it, you take the comprehensive final, and hopefully it helps out your grade. If it hurts, if it's lower than any of your test grades, I'll just won't count it. So you have nothing to lose by taking it. But if it's not higher than your lowest previous test grade, then you're not gaining anything by taking it either. You'll see the math department grading scale here. We do award pluses for any grade that's in the top 2 or bottom 2. So 88 to 92 is a B plus. And 78 to 82 is a C plus. Otherwise, it's just your normal 10-point grading scale. Please do notice there's no such thing as a D plus. 70 to 77 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and below 60 is an F. If you are beginning to struggle, not strumble, if you are beginning to struggle with any part of this class, as a lot of students do, please contact me immediately for extra help. I will be extremely willing to help you out as long as you're willing to put in the work. What I can't do is help somebody. Let's say they contact me a week before the end of class and say, gosh, I'm failing the class. What do I need to do? And let's say that they don't even have half of their homework and their test grades have been miserable. I can't help them at that point. But if they're into the class and just a week or 2 or even 3 into the class and say, gosh, I'm really struggling, I need extra help, I will be here to help you out. I just need to see that you're putting in the effort, and I will put in an extraordinary amount of effort to make sure that you succeed in this class. That's my main goal as any professor, is to make sure that my students learn and to make sure that they succeed. Our class calendar here. The section assignments, these are for what you're supposed to do on my lab, and also to be watching. I'll show you where my introduction or information instruction, that's the word, instruction videos are posted for each of these sections here in just a moment. But for our first day of class, hopefully you're watching this introductory video, and then this class does move quickly. Notice you're assigned 3 sections here on your first day of the class, P1, P2, P3. Hopefully that means that you watch my instruction videos for those sections and that you work the accompanying assignment on my lab. Some days It may seem like the homework is a little bit more than others. Overall, though, I think you'll find out that it balances out to be approximately about 3 to 4 hours of work a day. And that sounds like a lot, but this class is supposed to have quite a bit of homework. Some of you who are extremely confident with your math skills, you'll get through it more quickly than that. Some of you who are rusty, it'll take longer. And those of you who are rusty, particularly, I would like for you to log into Zoom or come on Friday for my sessions to where I can help you get through the content and maybe refresh your mind and build up your skills more quickly to where you're not struggling too much. You'll see our first test date is on, it would be June 15th. It's the second day of that week. So this would be the 14th, this would be the 15th. So our first test is June 15th. I also have it labeled down here. The same room that I'll be doing my review sessions, which is McWhirter 221 on Fridays at 10. So all of these Fridays at 10 o'clock, you can meet me in person in McWhirter 221, or you can meet me Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. on my Zoom channel. Either way or both. But in that same room that I'm testing you, I'll also be doing the in-person review sessions, McWhirter 221. First test, June 15th. I would hope that a lot of people will come and test with me. If you would prefer to use the testing center to give you a little bit more variety and testing location, because it's the testing center is going to be open on all of our campuses. So you can go to any campus, go to that testing center. Please do make sure you check the hours for each testing center because they vary by location. But you can use any testing center June 14th through 17th. That would be the window for the first test. You'll notice I always open the window one day prior to when I'll be given the test myself, and I leave it open for 2 days after when I'm giving the test. So you can take the test in the testing center the 14th, 15th, 16th, or 17th for that first test. If you want to test with me in person, it'll be June 15th at 10 a.m. in McWhirter 221. There's really no advantage to testing one place or the other. Neither place will you be able to use any notes. I never allow any notes on tests. You will be able to bring calculators, and you will have an unlimited amount of time regardless of location. Now, if you test with me and you come at 10 a.m., you can stick around and take however long you need on the test. I don't believe in stressing students out by limiting time. If it just takes you an hour, great. If it takes you 3 hours, well, that's okay. I'll wait around as long as you need me to. Now, if you're taking it in the testing center, I don't limit those hours either. However, you limit the hours based upon what time you enter. So if a testing center has a posted end time of 2 p.m. and you arrive at 1 p.m., you've automatically limited yourself to 1 hour on that test. And you don't get to go back in later. You can't say, oh, well, it's unlimited time, so I'll just go back in and finish it tomorrow. It's one sitting. So please do be careful with that. I've had a lot of students in the past that went in right towards the end of the testing window and didn't allow themselves enough time to take the test. So don't fall victim to that. You will see the times for each of our other tests. Our second test is June 29th, and they'll be at 10 a.m. everyone, the same location for every test. Our third test, July 8th at 10 a.m., and then the fourth test on July 20th. For some of you, you'll be done with the class on July 20th. For those that had maybe a lower test grade in those first 4 tests, if you want to take the optional final exam, that's will be given in the testing center, and you can see the dates for that. Notice I don't give the final exam myself, so there will be no test with me for the final exam. Unlike the first 4, the final exam is testing center only because I expect fewer students will take the final exam. We'll see. It's fine if you do though. Let's see. Next thing I want to talk about here, lecture videos. So all of the lessons that I have teaching the information are already linked for you here. You can go right in and it'll show you a video of me teaching each lesson, and just goes like this. It just links to my YouTube account, and you'll see where, yeah, well, there we go. Eventually it'll play here, guys. There we go. I have my cool little tennis background there. But now you'll notice in these that I go through the content in the section. I try to talk about the things that you need to know through each of the concepts. I talk about the vocabulary and stuff in addition to working the problems. So hopefully you'll feel that that gives you a very good ground set before you work the problems. Now, especially in some of these earlier sections, it's more about vocabulary and stuff. So there's more of that in it. Later on, it's just mainly example, and how to do things. Now, you can pull this up on YouTube if you want. I would strongly urge you, please watch it within here. The reason I need you to watch it within here is because I can't track whether or not you watch it if you go to the YouTube. I can track whether you watch it within Brightspace. And the reason I would like to be able to do that is because the only evidence I have to see whether a student is watching my videos is if they watch them within Brightspace. Then I have within my resources on the faculty tab a link that shows me, okay, this student watched this video, how many minutes they watched that video. So when you say, hey, I've been watching your videos, I can go in and verify, oh, yeah, you have. Otherwise, if you just click out to YouTube, I won't be able to verify. It will not show me that you've watched the video from beginning to end, or even that you've maybe even not even clicked on it. So please do stay within Brightspace. You can still maximize any video that you want. So if you want to go into a video, I can click it. Come on, Brightspace. It's taking its while on this one for some reason. There we maybe go. Not sure why this one's taking so long. Come on, eventually, geesh. So whenever you're in a video like this, and if you want to maximize the screen, you can easily do that as well. So, but please do keep in mind, try to stay within the Brightspace whether you're maximizing the screen or not. That's kind of annoying hearing me talking in stereo there and here. Now, let me go back to this. So that's the lecture videos. I have that for every single section that you'll cover. And then if you just want to see the notes from the videos, so my lecture videos there, I have the lecture notes for the videos here for every section. If you just wanted the notes printed out, you could do that. Now, another thing I've done here. Now, you do not need to work homework out of the book. I went ahead and did it though. Kind of my reasoning was twofold. One, I just like math and I don't mind doing it. And two, I wanted to give you another resource. If we were meeting traditionally, I would give you an option on how you wanted to do your homework. I could say you could either do the homework out of the book, or you could do the homework on my lab. That is not an option for our class because this class is an online class, so you must do the homework on my lab. But I still wanted to show you the homework out of the book. And here's the nice thing about this. The homework that I've done out of the book, this would be the very first homework assignment P1 out of your textbook. This is what it would look like out of your textbook. If you go to the end of that homework assignment, you'll see my solutions, and you'll see beside every single problem a corresponding number. That's the number it corresponds to on your MyLab assignment. So I promise you, If you look at, and I think I unfortunately mislabeled that assignment. Yeah, this is P1, not 1.1. So please ignore my 1.1 there. This is section P1. But if you go to section P1, let's say number 21, it's going to be a very ridiculously easy problem. Wow, it's really that easy. Yeah, it is. I promise you. Number 21 in section P1 on my lab is a problem very similar to 5x minus 2x is 3x, which is, yes, insultingly easy. But let me prove that to you. If I go to number 21, it better correspond exactly. Oh, well, Oh, it is. It's just having you write out the algebraic expression, the difference between the product of 6 in a number and 3 in a number, and then what is the algebraic expression. So it's just trying to get you to write out 6 in a number and 3 times a number, so 6x minus 3x. I had to think about it for a second. Check answer, and it said do not simplify. Well done. And then what is the simplified expression? 3x. And if you're like, wow, that's insultingly easy, John. Yeah, it is. I don't like that question at all. But my point in showing you that was to get you to see anytime you're doing a problem within my lab, you should be able to find a corresponding problem that I've done throughout the book. Now, sometimes the problems on my lab will ask you to do a little bit more annoying things like write it out long ways first before just simplifying it. Okay, but shouldn't be a big deal no matter what. So that should give you another resource to compare or to use as you're trying to work the problems on my lab. You go back, we have beginning of semester information. You've seen my homework solutions, and I do those homework solutions for every single section throughout the entire book that we'll be doing all the way through 6.7. And then practice test with video solutions, CC. So when it comes to our test day, so that first test day, remember, was the 15th with me in the quarter 221, or the 14th through 17th if you're taking in the testing center. There's never going to be any question what my tests look like. You'll be able to go in here and say, I wonder what Professor John's going to give on his first test. Well, look at this. Your practice 1 test, and you can go in here and say, your very first question is going to ask you to simplify a rational expression like this. Your third question is going to ask you to simplify a radical expression with roots in the denominator that you have to multiply by the root conjugate in order to simplify. So all of those things will be in there. It'll be question by question, just like this. Now, whenever you're preparing, I would, if I were you, I would use that test first and try to go in and work it out to the best of your ability. And then I would use my solutions to check to see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So I promise you, your very first test that you take with me, let's say problem 21, it's going to be a word problem that's asking you how many liters needed in order to get to a certain amount, just like this one. Problem 22, it's going to be graphing a line in slope-intercept form, pretty basic stuff. Problem 24, it's going to be finding the composition and inverse of a function. Gorgeous stuff. 24 is a beautiful problem there, but I promise you, every problem is going to be identical to that. Now, if you say, well, it's not enough for me just to see your solution on there, I need to understand how to work it. That's why you'll see that I will post videos of me explaining how I've worked through out all of this stuff as well. I've tried to do everything I can to help you out with the class. So now Zoom cut me short in this one. So that's why you'll see a video solutions 1 through 19 for that practice test 1, and then video solutions 20 through 24. I think the Zoom session cut me off at a certain amount of time, which it might do right now. So I need to hurry up and wrap this up. But you'll see practice tests, written and posted solutions for every test we're going to have, along with the video solutions, all the way on down through our practice test 4. I've already got them all posted with the solutions and video solutions on there for you. Now, I would strongly recommend going through and working the sections that each test is going to cover before even looking at the practice test. It'll be a lot more beneficial for you to do that first. So before I even looked at that practice test 1, if I were you, I would strongly recommend already having worked through section 1.10. If you haven't worked P1 through P9 and 1.2 through 1.10, you're not going to be able to do the test whether or not you look at my practice test or not. So you should do all of those sections, and then upon completion of all of those sections, my practice test and solutions should make sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, that's where you need to get with me one-on-one, and we'll try to make as much sense out of it as we can. So all those practice tests and video solutions are there for you. Once we do take a test, you'll have test solutions posted for you, so you'll never be left, and wondering, well, I wonder what I did wrong on that problem. You'll see precise solutions of what I expected for every single problem on the test. And I will scan and email you your graded test that you have throughout the semester as well. So you'll be able to compare what you did versus what I wanted you to do. Something else I can do is, if you want to just send me an email of a certain question on my lab, you can do that. And I'll post a little video of me working a problem on my lab up here for you too, if you like. Sometimes people just get stuck with what my lab is asking within a particular question, and I'll be glad to help out with that. So you can let me know, and I'll post that there for the benefit of you and for anyone else looking at those. All right, I'll wrap up this video. I think that's all that I have for you as far as introduction. Please do keep an eye on the class calendar. Please do make sure that you're registering for that My Lab, and also going ahead and working some of the sections in that. And at any time, let me know if you have any questions through email jwlam@pstcc.edu, or you see my phone number also posted in our policy sheet page. You can contact me through cell, text. I'll be able to answer those quickly. Meet me on Zoom at 10 a.m. each morning, or meet me in person on Friday at 10 a.m. So Monday through Thursday on Zoom, or Friday at 10 a.m. in person in McWhirter 221. And again, all of that information is on the policy sheet. So please make sure you refer back to that quickly too. So 10 a.m., if you click this link, you'll see me on Zoom, and I can answer any questions that you have. Fridays, just come in person, McWhirter 221, and I'll be glad to help you out with anything that you have there. All right, guys, I'll stop with that. Look forward to working with you this summer. And again, please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. I will be eager to help.